Hello everybody, and cheers. Well, this video is an attempt to look at the lock at Avon, which is the westernmost lock on the Kennet Avon Canal. And in the same way that I went from the Thames into the centre of Reading, I'm going to go from Avon into the centre of Bristol. And finally, before we get round to the canal, last Saturday I had a birthday treat. My great-grandchildren gave me a guided tour around a wildlife park, Arlo and Aubrey. Hello. What do you call those? What are those? What do they call them?
Zebras.
Right, now tell me.
They're white.
Are they black with white stripes or are they white with black stripes?
They're white with black stripes.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Don't pull me on it.
I want to get a car.
Yeah.
After an unbelievable hard time trying to find this place, I've arrived at the old Lock and Wind Weir Inn, and I'm going to go in and see if I can get a snack. It's a very nice looking pub, and I've just ordered a little snack and a half pint, and I'm sitting right next to the river and looking down towards the weir, and apparently the lock's the other side, but towpath goes from here. That's the Kennet Avon coming down there, and over there there's a cutting that goes down to the lock, I presume the other side of that island, and this is the way it goes down to the weir. I had a bacon sarnie for breakfast, and now I'm having Scotch egg for lunch with mustard and a half pint of pale ale. I've had a lot of Scotch eggs in my time, but that one has to go down as the best ever. But now I have to get on the road, get the bike out the car and get off along the towpath. But if you're in this area near Hannam Lock, the old Lock and Weir pub, give it a try. The service was faultless, the facilities were immaculate, and the food was delicious. And I only had a Scotch egg, but I'll tell you what, the best. Now, for those that are not familiar with electric bikes, this is a fold-up one, and it's power assisted, which means you have to pedal before the motor cuts in. The battery, which you take off to charge if you want to, which I do, the battery just slots in there like that, and there's a switch on this side. You switch it on, and then on the handlebars I've got this on-off switch, and that shows me that I've got full power, and there are three modes: low, medium and high, but I will start off in low. So we're ready to go, and I've got the panniers on the back with the battery charger in it in case I need to borrow some electricity from somebody. There's Hannam Lock over there, either the first or the last on the Kennet Avon, depending on which way you're going. And I couldn't actually get to it because there's a gate and it was locked. And there's the weir, and just along there, the pub where I had my lunch. And the towpath along this section is a bit muddy. I hope I don't fall off. It's not exactly a towpath in the normal sense of the word, because there's the path, there's some trees, and there's the waterway, the river. And you're not going to get a horse with a rope pulling a barge past there, are you? I must have done about a mile along here now, and it's just no houses, no buildings, no nothing. Just greenery and big old trees. It's warming up a bit now, so I'm going to take my coat off, stick it in the panniers. Turning into a nice day. but still some promise of rain later on. And in various places along the path they've got these benches, and there's the river, nice and calm, gently flowing downstream. Now passing the Bristol Aerial Rowing Club with their boats over there. 8s and 4s and I don't know, those sculls, yeah. It looks like I've got to join the road for a bit. But there's the canal, the river. To making a long turn round there to the left. I used to know Bristol quite well, but I've never been to this part before. And we're coming into a built-up area now. But how far it is to the centre yet, I really don't know. Henham is the last stop on the canal. But before you get into Bristol, there's this stop, which is obviously only used when it's tidal, because here we have a boat coming in. Well, the lockkeeper, very kind gentleman, has allowed me to come in out of the rain, and I'm going to ask him about this lock.
Yeah, well, what's to know about this lock? First of all, I suppose we keep the tide out of Bristol on the spring tides, because there's a weir on the river just the other side of those buildings, and on the spring tides the tide comes over the weir and it'll get into Bristol via this back door unless we close the gates and close off all the paddles to stop that. On neat tides that doesn't happen. It comes up to the weir, it has a look at it and it goes back out again. So on those days we just keep the gates open, right, because we're always on a level with the river, yeah, except on these big tides. Right.
And how far is it into the centre of the city from here?
It's about 20 minutes to half an hour cruising. Right. So at 4 miles an hour you work out
just under 2 miles.
How far it is. Yeah?
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're most welcome.
Yeah, and thanks for letting me get out the rain as well.
Yeah, the other thing that happens at this lock, we get visiting boats from all over the country coming down the canal network, and it's required for them to stop at this lock, pay me a huge amount of money to moor in Bristol harbour and to navigate on the water.
Oh right, okay.
Because this is not Canal and River Trust, this is Bristol City.
Yeah, and you charge by the metre or?
By the metre, yeah.
Yeah. And so how much is it for a night on the?
I would have to have a look at the chart for that, but a 70-foot narrowboat would pay very close to £40 for a 24-hour licence. Right. But the longer they stay, the less that gets per day.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Thank you very much indeed.
Most welcome.
Thank you. That's a stretch coming down from the locks where you've just seen, and I'm getting fairly near the centre, down that way. And here's the river, and the tide's well out. And so, into the docks. And this really is the heart of the city. Well, it's certainly all happening here. Ice cream vans, carousels, and big wheels. And carrying on through the docks. You're on this side. You can get on this little ferry here and go across. You see the HSS Great Britain, and there she is, you can see the mast there. And on down that way to the locks that lead you out into the river again, and on your way. At the moment, there are just 4 narrow boats in this little basin here. And there's a better look at the SS Great Britain in the dry dock where she was built. And when you finish in Bristol Harbour, Bristol docks, you come down here and through these locks here. And then when you've done everything you want to in Bristol docks, you come into this final set of locks which takes you out onto the River Avon. And at the moment the tide is well out. This is a rise and fall of tide here, anything up to 11 metres on spring tide. And down there towards Avon mouth and over the famous shifting suspension bridge. And that, folk, is as far as I'm going to take you. If you're brave enough to take a narrow boat down the Avon there, turn right up the Bristol Channel or Severn Estuary and fight the tide, if you have to, you won't win. And you can get into the Gloucester Canal and then on up through Tewkesbury, through the River Severn into Birmingham. But you've got to navigate that Severn first. Now there's a pub down there called the Pump House, and I've ridden probably about 5 miles, that's all, but I can only do 5 miles on half a pint, so to go and have another half pint. Let's go and see what they've got. Yep, the Pump House, let's see what they've got. And there's my IPA, and I'm ready for it. There's a bloke singing down here. Well, I think he thinks he's singing. So, I've made it back to the car, and now we've just got to get this folded up and put it in the back. And as I said, the path is quite muddy, and that's going to need washing down, as are my trousers and my shoes. And I forgot to mention it's front wheel drive, so not much chance of a wheelie. And there's a 6-speed derailleur gear system. It goes well. And then she folds up like that and fits comfortably into the back of the car. Now we'll head back to the ranch. I really want to thank the many people who have made comments, suggestions and given advice. I am truly grateful to all of you, and I have taken into account all views when arriving at the decisions that I have come to. You can see my birthday cards, or some of them. Well, last Friday, 14th of August, I had been on this planet for 79 years. And this time next year, if I'm still around, I shall be 80. And although there are those far fitter than me who could do it, I have no wish to take on another project. I also have no wish to take finance or dig deeper into my emergency funds. And although I saw several boats which fell within my budget, they all needed an amount of work which made them into a project in my eyes. That, together with my general fitness, or lack of it, has made me decide that my narrow boating will be limited to hiring boats as and when. In the meantime, I shall continue with vlogs looking at the canals from the towpath and other subjects as they arise. So let me thank you all for watching this series, and maybe you will stay around and stay subscribed to see what I get up to. I hope so.